Hello again, everyone. This is Zombie Kids Rule, and I'm back with another video tutorial. This time it's going to be about how to, a simple way to raise maximum HP, maximum MP, level, basically anything that you can think of. I incorporated this as part of, like, say, a blessing, right? So you have, throughout your game, you have maybe different statues or different areas where a player can go to, and they're bestowed with something special, right? You're increasing something about the player. And this is just a very simple way of doing this. I chose a few options, not, all of the different options. But this is, again, you could build off this. You could take this concept, this principle, and you could pretty much utilize it for anytime you want to give an increase, or a permanent increase or something to the player. Or maybe you want to have like a healing thing where it's removing statuses, or it's healing hit points, or it's replacing mana or magic, versus raising their maximum. So it all depends on what you want to do here. So let me show you these two little statue things down here. One is just doing gold, and one is doing a selection of things. And I'll show you how I show you what it does in game, I'll show you how you can incorporate this, and then as a start. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to go down to this first statue, and it says, okay, it pops up the gold window. I have 0 gold now. Greetings, travelers. Welcome to Ashra's Altar of Wealth. I can bestow a random amount of gold several times, but once I am depleted, my blessings end. And then it asks, now it's randomly determining how many blessings it has. I have 2 blessings left. Would you like to receive a blessing? I'm going to say no, and it's very well until next time. Now, it should remember that it set 2 blessings, and it does its first greeting, and it says I have 2 blessings left. And just to double check to make sure it's not just making a mistake. So yes, it remembers it has 2 blessings. So it sets it the first time you talk to it. So I'm going to take a blessing. You are blessed with 35 gold. You see the gold increased here. I have 1 blessing left. Would you like to receive a blessing? No. And then we'll come back. It should remember it has 1 blessing, which it does. I want my blessing. You're blessed with 79 gold pieces. And now it says, sadly, my blessings are depleted. It shows me my total gold. And if I try to interact with the statue again, sadly, my blessings are depleted. I can't help you anymore. If I go into my inventory area here, I have 114 gold. All right, now let's go over to this statue. Same concept, I just wanted to change it a little bit. So does the same thing, only it says now it's various blessings. And once I am depleted, my blessings are no more. And it randomly determines how many blessings it has. I have 4 blessings. Would you like to receive a blessing? Let's say no. It should remember that it has 4 blessings, which it does. So now I'm going to say yes. And now it's going to ask me, which blessing do you want? Do you want to increase gold? Do you want to increase health? Do you want to increase magic? Do you want to increase level? Do you want a restoration, meaning restore basically everything that might be positive or negative? Basically, it's taking away everything, giving you your health back, giving you your hit points, your mana back, or never mind. So we'll do never mind first, okay? And basically it loops back. I have 4 blessings. Would you like to receive a blessing? And if I say no, then it's gonna exit me. But I go back. I have 4 blessings. Yes, I want to receive a blessing. In fact, we've already seen the gold. I want to increase my health. You are blessed with 684 health. I have 3 blessings left. Do you want? No, I don't. So I want to see. Yes, look at that. My hit points jumped. It started from like 544 for Reed, and it took a massive jump. Okay, awesome, cool. Now let's remember this. Reed has 41 MP. So I'm going to go back here, and I have 3 blessings left. Do I want something? Yes, I want you to increase my magic. You're blessed with 693 mana. I have 2 blessings left. Nope, I want to check my mana. So I check. Oh, look, Reed went up to 734 mana. So that's increasing your maximum MP magic, right? Okay, so now I go back here, and it says I have 2 blessings left. Yeah, you know what? I want to increase my level. You are blessed with 4 levels. So it randomly determines how much levels you get, just like it randomly determined how much extra health you got, how much extra magic you got. So now I have one lesson left. No, I want to check it out first. So now all my characters are level 5, and their stats jumped, right? Their stats changed. Okay, and then we go back here. I have one blessing left, and essentially, if I do restoration, you're not going to see any effect because there's no problems here. Increasing gold is the same it was. Let's do level again and see what happens. Sadly, my blessings are depleted, and if I go here, now I'm level 10, and you see that these stats changed according to how the classes are structured, okay? And if I try to engage again, sadly, my blessings are depleted. I'm done, okay? So that's how those two different statues are working. So let's go into these a little bit. If I explain the first statue, the wealth statue, the second statue is pretty much the same except for the choices about what type of blessings I want. So the way I did this was I chose an image of a statue, direction fix so that the face won't change when you select the statue from different directions. It's player touch on this one, so when you actually bump into it, it's going to activate the contents of the event. The first thing it's doing is it's doing a conditional branch. If a variable loop amount set is greater than 0, it's going to jump to label return. And label return is right here. Okay, label return is right here. And the reason I'm doing this is because the first time we engage with this statue, right? So when we go to conditional branch, I'm just basically saying if, under a conditional branch, the variable loop amount set is greater than 0, right? I'm not using an else branch. If it's greater than 0, I want you to jump to return. Why? Because the first time we engage with this event, this variable will be 0. It will be set to 0. So this will not be true. It won't be greater than 0. So it won't jump down to the return label. Instead, it will do this. It will take a control variable, variable 4, called loop amount, and it's going to randomly decide how many times you can loop through this and get a blessing. So this isn't just the number of times you can loop, actually. It's the number of blessings that you get, right? So I probably should name it something different. But it's randomly saying that the loop amount, or it should be perhaps blessings, is between 2 and 4. So it's going to set that the first time we engage with this event. And then when we exit this event and we come back to it, it's going to check this and say, hey, is my loop amount set, which we're going to do later down here, if that's going to match your blessings. If it's greater than 0, then I'm going to skip this. I'm not going to reset the blessings, and I'm going to jump down here to return. And this is where I want to go through the option of getting your blessings. So that's what this first portion's doing. Is the first time we visit, it's going to be 0, so it's going to set the control variable randomly 2 to 4, and then it's going to continue to go down here. And if we leave and come back, it's going to check this, and it will be greater than 0, right? Usually, in which case we will not reset this. We will just jump down here. If it is 0, then actually we will have already advanced the page. So this won't matter at that point in time. This up here won't matter because if it gets to 0, we will advance the page and that will be done. Okay, so what's the blessing part? So we show them the text, hey, this is who I am, I can give blessings, and that $$ is where it's opening up your gold window, right? So when I go here, when I hover over here, you can see that the $, whoops, I probably can't scroll down to it, but the $$ is open the gold window. And then these greater than signs, if you look there, you'll notice that it's display remaining text on the same line all at once. So instead of going word by word, it just all appears. And then now, once I do this, that shows this text, I'm creating a loop. And the reason I made it this way, you don't have to do it this way. The reason I did it this way was I was exploring how loops work. And so the benefit of this is that when it gets to the end of the event, If there's still blessings left, it will go back to the beginning and it will let you continue to choose blessings without exiting and coming back. So that's the value of the loop here. You don't have to do it that way, okay? But I did. So I created a loop, and when you create a loop, it's on page 1 of event commands. When you create the loop, it has a loop, and then it automatically does the repeat above, and everything that you want to have within that loop, where it cycles back and goes through again, and then cycles back and goes through again, you put it inside that between loop and repeat above. Okay, so I have my loop, and it shows me my text. I have variable 4 blessings left, which, remember, variable 4 was the loop amount. So I have variable 4 blessings left, and it shows me my gold window. And then it gives me a choice. Basically, would you like to receive a blessings? Yes or no, right? So there's my choices, yes or no. When yes, we're going to use a variable. Variable 2, random gold, is between 10 and 100. So again, whatever works for your game, whatever amount of gold is reasonable for whatever you're doing, this is just randomly selecting between 10 and 100 for a gold value. Then we're changing the gold for the party by increasing the variable random gold. So we change gold, increase by the variable random gold. Okay? Then we tell them what we did. You're blessed with variable 2, random gold pieces, and the gold window. Then this is where we subtract from the loop amount. So up here, we set the loop amount from 2 to 4. So let's just say it was a 4. If they say yes, then when we get to this part, it's going to take 1 away. It's going to decrease it. So now there's only 3 blessings left. That's how it's doing that. So the variable loop amount is subtracting a constant of 1. Okay? So we're taking 1 away. And then it's immediately checking if loop amount is equal to 0, then it's going to tell us, sadly, my blessings are depleted, and it's going to turn on control self switch A, which will move us to page 2, which basically is, I'll show it to you now. It's very simple. My blessings are depleted. Okay. Now this variable I'll talk about later of why I'm doing this. You don't have to do this if you have a single event, but if you have multiple events that do this, then I had to reset this to 0 to avoid any potential problems with other events. Okay. So I will just mention this here. Because of the way this is built, this was built for 1 statue. Okay, when I created a second statue, I ran into problems because I reused the same variables. If you want to use multiple statues or multiple whatever it is that you're going to use, if the player can access those at different times, and they can leave and come back, then you're going to have to use different variables. Because if you use the same variables, I go to this statue and it says, okay, 4, and then I go to another statue. I don't use any of them. I go to another statue. I reuse those same variables. It's going to change the amount. So when I go back to my first statue, it's going to be overwritten by what the next statue did. So if I want to have multiple statues in different places of the game and allow the player to come back and forth and not use them all, then I have to use different variables. So that's just to, I should mention that here now so you don't mess up and make like 10 of these and then wonder why. How come it's messing up when I go back to my other statue? It's because you didn't use different variables. So again, we went through here, we subtracted. If the loop amount is 0, my blessings are depleted. I'm turning on control self switch A so it advances the page, and then I'm breaking the loop. So I'm going to get out of this loop, and I'm essentially done here, okay? And then when no, right, because that's a choice too, when the choice is no, it says, okay, very well, until next time. And this is where it's setting that loop amount set variable, and it's setting it to the loop amount, whatever remains of the loop amount. And then it breaks the loop. So when we're here, just to show you how this would logically work, the first time I engage with this, loop amount set is greater than 0, that's going to be it's not going to be true because it will be 0 the first time engaged with this event. So it's going to drop down here, it's going to set the loop amount, and then it's going to continue on to this part. If I immediately say no, it drops down here, and then it says, okay, my loop amount set variable is my loop amount. So whatever was determined here, that's what this loop amount set is going to be. I'm going to break the loop, so I'm exiting this event. And when I come back, this loop amount set now has the value of what the loop amount was. And it's going to be greater than 0. So it will jump to this label here, skipping this, and it will go through its thing. If I visit this the first time and it sets a loop amount of, say, 3, and instead of saying no, I say yes, I want a blessing, then it's going to decrease the loop amount by 1. So it's going to go from 3 to down to 2. And then, of course, it makes me go back. So if I choose a yes, right, and the blessings are not depleted, so it's not 0, it drops down here and it says repeat above. So it jumps back to the loop. And then I have my choices again. So if I keep choosing yes, then eventually I'll get down, it will be 0, and it will say, okay, my blessings are depleted. I'm going to turn on self switch A to move to the next page. But if I only use one of my blessings, I say yes right away, I use one of my blessings, then when it loops me back through and I say no, then this is where the loop amount set becomes the current value of loop amount, if no matter how many times I subtracted it, and then it breaks the loop so it doesn't repeat, and it kicks me out of the event. So when I come back, that's when it checks this to see should I skip this part and jump to here and give them another choice of selecting. So that is how loop amount set gets essentially set to the variable loop amount, right? Whether it's the original value or whether it's the decreased value, depending on if we used any of the blessings. Okay, so that's how this particular one works. And then again, once the blessings are depleted, it will go to page 2 and it will repeat. Blessings are depleted. You can't do anything else. But this, like I said, I had to use this control variable loop amount set is equal to 0, so that when I go to the next statue, I won't run into problems because I'm reusing those variables, right? So I know for a fact that's going to be a problem. So when I demonstrate it and test it, I don't get a few blessings here, leave some, and then come over here, because that's going to mess things up. So again, if you're gonna do this with multiple sources of blessings, for instance, if you want to call them blessings, then you have to use different variables. Okay. So when I came over here, then this would probably have to change, right? That variable would have to change because that could be different from event to event. Now I can reuse random gold, because that is a finite thing. You determine the random gold, you give the random gold, and then you can reuse that variable. That's perfectly fine. But the loop amount, that would have to be a different variable. Okay. All right. So now we're in this second statute, and essentially it's structured the same as the money one, the wealth one, except that we're going to give them a choice of what they want. So the first part's the same. If loop amount set is greater than 0, which it will be the first time, right? Jump to label return, and we'll jump down here. This is the reason why if I left some blessings in the other statue and I didn't use different variables, then when I went to engage with this statue, loop amount set is going to be greater than 0. So it's going to skip this, and it's going to go to this, and it's basically going to tell me that I have the same number of blessings left that I have from my other statue. That's what I don't want it to do. Okay. So just like in the other one, we check this first. First time we engage with the statue, it's not going to be greater than 0. So it'll set the variable loop amount to 4 to 6, whatever you want it to be. Again, if you're doing multiple statues, you want to change this variable to something else. Maybe something more appropriate. Blessing statue 1, blessing statue 2, blessing statue 3, whatever. And then, of course, we have our label return. We have our text, right? And we just modified it a little bit. I have various blessings, blah, blah, blah. I start my loop, and then I do the thing. You have variable 4, right? Blessings left. Would you like to receive a blessings? Yes or no? And then when yes, I'm going to give them another choice, right? So we're going to go in our set of choices, yes or no, we're going to then ask them, which blessing do you desire? And we're going to give them another set of choices. Now, this is where I'm going to mention this now because this is important. Increase gold, very simple. It just increases your gold. Not a big deal. Increase health. Now, originally, there's a difference between increasing your maximum health and increasing your health as in healing. Okay, there's two different things you have to select if you're doing that. So if you wanted this to be, I'm injured and I want to heal, right, then that's one option. Or if you want to increase maximum health, increasing the maximum amount of HP you have, that's a different thing. So you have to be very clear with your choices, but you also have to be clear with what you choose within the event itself. So this is intended to be increase your gold, increase your maximum health, increase your maximum magic, increase the level of the actor or party. Restoration is basically recover all. It's just recovering your hit points, your magic points, your stat. It's getting rid of all statuses, stuff like that. Nevermind is exiting. Okay, so that's your choices. Now, when it is increased gold, we're just going to take a variable, random gold, variable 2, random gold, and we're going to randomly pick a number between 500 and 5,000. I set it really high so it was easy to see the impact. Right, so that it was easy to see that it took effect. Then we're going to change gold, and we are going to essentially increase, right? Change gold, increase by the variable random gold. You guys have probably seen this before, but it's using event commands. Page 1, change gold, change HP is basically healing. Change MP is basically recovering magic points. Okay. Change parameter, it will show that in a second. That's where, actually I'll show it now. Change parameter is where you can either say entire party or a character. And here's your parameters. Max HP, so the maximum amount of hit points. Max MP, or your attack, or your defense, or your magic attack, your magic defense, your agility, your luck. So that's how you would change the parameter to permanently raise one of those parameters in the game, or decrease, right? Increase or decrease by a constant or a variable. And then of course change level is the same thing. You can do it by party or character. You can increase or decrease. You can do it by a constant or by a variable. And if you select show level up, which I didn't do, in fact I'll do that now. I'll change that when I get down to it, because I do want to show you something else about that's important to do as well. If you do show level up, when in the game, it'll actually do the text about, hey, so-and-so leveled up, and this is what they increased and such. So we're changing their gold. We're telling them you are blessed with variable 2, gold, right? And then it subtracts from the loop amount, so it takes away a blessing. And then it says, if loop amount is 0, then my blessings are depleted. Control self switch A is on, which advances the page. And then I break the loop. So that's all pretty much the same core functionality of the wealth statue. When it's increased health, then we're going to use the same random number. We can do that. Variable 1, random number, 500 to 1,000, just so it's easy in testing to see that it's doing what I want it to do. It's changing parameter, right? So it's changing the parameter of max XP by the random number variable. So again, using a variable, max HP for the parameter, because this is raising their maximum hit points versus recovering hit points, healing hit points. And then this is important, recover all. If you don't do this, what will happen is it will raise your maximum hit points, but when you go to look at it, the number that you see will be the same as it was before. And it's confusing. The first few times I did this, I said, this didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. But the reason is it raises your maximum, but it doesn't actually recover anything. It doesn't actually heal you. So if you have 500 hit points and you raise the maximum, it can raise it to 1,000, but you still have 500 hit points. So it looks very confusing when you go into the the inventory area. So, and I'll show you by taking this out later. So then the text, you're blessed with V1, variable 1, health, right? Then we take away the 1 from the loop amount. And again, it checks just like it did before. If it's 0, then my blessings are depleted, control self switch A. Break the loop. Or if it's increased magic, same variable, variable 1, 500 to 1,000, change the parameter for the entire party, max MP by, we're increasing it by the random number, recover all because we want to be able to see it, right? When we actually check our screen, then we say you're blessed with variable 1 mana. Then we take away the loop amount, right? We're deducting from the blessings. If it's 0, my blessings are depleted and control self switch A is on. So these are you can just basically copy and paste this this information and just change these things that you need. If it's increased level, it's going to randomly decide how many levels to give them. You could just always give them 1, or you could say, hey, okay, I'm going to randomly choose between 2 and 5. And then we're going to change level of the entire party, increasing it by the random number variable. We're going to recover all so that when you gain a level, you increase maximum HP, you increase maximum MP. So you want that to actually be visible and not require them to be healed or something. And then we tell them you're blessed with variable 1 levels. And then so you notice I did 2 to 5 so that it would always be plural, levels. Instead of saying you are blessed with 1 levels, that sounds odd if I had 1 to 4 or something. So that's something, a pet peeve of mine for planning purposes. Make sure you word things correctly. Loop amount is we're going to take away. If it's 0, my blessings are depleted, control self switch A on. And then when it's restoration, we're using that recover all. So if you don't remember what that is, actually, let me go back here. Recover all is clears all states and fully recovers HP and MP. That's what the recover all does. And you can name it anything you want, of course. And then you have received the blessing of full restoration. Subtract from the loop amount. If it's 0, depleted, control self switch A. And then if it's never mind, then basically it just doesn't do anything. And it drops down to repeat above, right? So all of these choices, when increase magic, when increase level, when increase HP, restoration, never mind, they all drop down here to the repeat above. And then, well, I'm sorry, these ones, they break the loop. No, that's true. They break the loop, but you end up repeating above, right? So that you can go back to this area here where it says, hey, I have this many blessings left. Do you want another one? Right? That's what the loop does. That's the whole intention of the loop here. Okay, and the break loop is only being used when their blessings are depleted. Right? Their blessings are depleted. That's when we're using the break loop. And then if they answer no, right? Instead of saying yes, I want one of those blessings. When they answer no, very well, until next time. And this is where it's setting that loop amount set equals the loop amount. However many blessings are left, that's what is going to be set to that loop amount, so that when we do actually break the loop and we're not repeating above, then when we come back, it's going to check and say, oh, do I still have blessings left because it's greater than 0? Yes, I do. Skip this and go directly to this. Okay? So that's how the multiple blessings, the different options work. Now let me show you what will happen if you do away with, for instance, this. We're going to do away with recover all. We're going to do away with recover all. We're going to do away with recover all, and we're also going to edit this to show level up. Okay, so now We're going to apply that, and I'll just show you in the game what that ends up looking like. And like I said, the first time I did this, I was very confused, and I thought it wasn't working right. So here we go. We know this. I have 5 blessings left. Yes, I want a blessing. Let's see. I want to increase my health, so 734, and then I want to increase my magic. Okay, and then we're going to check that first. So now you notice I still have the same starting value, but the bars went down. So I have 544 of, I don't know. I don't know my maximum. Okay, I don't know my maximum. Would it tell me in the status screen? No, it doesn't. It doesn't tell me my maximum, right? So this is what will happen if you increase maximum HP, maximum MP, but you don't recover, right? You don't recover all. It will show you that you'll have your what you had before, but you just have more available. It doesn't replace that for you. Okay. Now, same thing with levels, right? So I say yes. I want to increase my levels. And now it's going to do the show me level up. Reed is now level 3, strong attack learned. Michelle is now level 3, strong attack. It's going to go through those. Okay, and you are blessed with 2 levels. So I should probably change that. Actually, I'd have to figure out how to do that. So it tells you first before it shows you the level up. I have 2 blessings left. Let's say no, so that I can actually look at this. And look, I'm level 3. And again, it didn't change, right? These did change, but it didn't change it for me. So now what I have to do is if I choose the actual restoration, like we were doing automatically, I've received full restoration, and I say no. Now it shows me my full hit point bar, my full MP bar, and the full amount. So, and then that's it. Okay. So, I just wanted to make that very clear that when you're dealing with the gold is fine, but when you're dealing with the parameter changes, right, you're definitely going to want to recover all. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and put those back. So MP, putting that back, and then increasing level. There. And then that way, when we do any of those things, it will give them their full amount, and it'll make it easy to see. Like I said, the first time I looked at it, I was very confused. I didn't think it was working. And so the other thing that I'll just mention here quickly is that with any of these things, right, you could do so many different things with this. You could have it where in your game, your players don't automatically get skills. They learn them through, say, a book, or they learn them through an item, or they learn them through a statue or something. So they have to choose, right? Or they randomly get them, or maybe they get extra skills, right? Because you can do that by changing skill. I can choose that, and I can do it by party, either the entire party or an individual character. Learn. I can make them forget things, right? So you could have a cursed statue that does the exact opposite of all this stuff, right? Where it takes away max MP, takes away max HP, takes away a skill, whatever. And then, of course, you have all your skills to choose from that you have in your database. So there's lots of different choices here. Just remember, change HP, change MP, that's healing or recovery, versus changing the parameter of the max value or the actual current value. And then, of course, remember that the more I guess, complex you get with this, the more you have to make changes. So, I could do this where you have to pick the person, right? Only one person in your party gets to do this. If you have a one-person party, that's fine. But if you have a multiple-person party, maybe it's not the entire party that benefits. Maybe you have to choose the character. And then in which case you have to code this in such a way that first you're choosing the character, and then you're going through either conditional branches or maybe use common events to do it for each different character. It's up to you how to implement it. But that's the simple concept of this, and just some different hints about the ways that different things function. But you could do all kinds of different things with this. You could go in all kinds of different directions and explore explore how you want to do this. And again, I just wanted to show quickly, you could actually change items, change weapons, change armors. You could give them anything. You could give them artifacts, right? You could have something that when you select it and talk to it or whatever, then one of the things you get from it is an artifact, right? When it comes to character stuff, you could allow your character to change their name in the game, or to change their class, right? Or to change their nicknames in the game. You could actually have something where you could say, hey, once you got your character, I can actually select something like this, and it allows me to change some of those things, change those features. Okay. So anyway, there's a lot of different options. There's a lot of different ideas. I hope this is helpful. If you're looking for something like this, if this sparks your imagination into other things that you can do, that's cool. I'm glad you found my channel. Please look at my other tutorials, my other videos. Check them out. If these are helpful, like, subscribe, get notifications, and leave comments. I love comments. Let me know how this is working for you. If there's other resources that you found that you want to share with people, by all means, post it. And I think I've mentioned this before. If you see a mistake, if you see something that is wrong, or if you try to do this and something doesn't work right, leave a comment and let me know. And then maybe I can help you, or definitely fix a mistake if there's something in there. All right, so thanks everybody. I hope you have a great day, and until I see you all again, happy game developing. All right, so long.